Severe just yet, of course, but our team is keeping an eye on a system that could bring us some severe weather as well.
Yeah, and things right now looking kind of bright outside as we bring in Haley Vaughn and Reese Colt for a check of the latest.
Yeah, you know, in West Michigan, we haven't seen too much yet. The rain is slowly making its way east and southeast into West Michigan. But again, the strongest storms have been north so far. And that's going to be the trend as we go throughout this evening. You can see from about Muskegon over to Montcalm County to the north. That's where that slight risk is in effect for this evening. Scattered severe storms are possible. That's where we could see an isolated tornado like we had already seen in Gaylord as well. Everywhere else, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, including Holland, and the rest of southwest Michigan in the marginal risk. That's where we could see an isolated severe storm. Not expecting any tornadoes in that area, but still a non-zero threat and still some strong winds and potentially damaging hail. Now, that's all a part of our general part. Haley's going to break down a few of the ingredients that go to it.
Right. So to meet severe criteria, we need at least 4 of the ingredients: the moisture, the lift, and the instability. And on top of it, we also need some shear. So when it comes to moisture, the dew point should be at least 55 degrees. Today, we had a dew point of 66 degrees, so we had plenty of moisture here in West Michigan. When it comes to the lift, this is usually allowed mainly in a frontal boundary, an advection, maybe even a lakeshore breeze. Because we are going to see a cold front move through this evening, that's what's providing the lift of these storms.
Well, the cold front is fairly weak, so it needs to mix with our instability, which is basically the energy in the atmosphere. And with our temperatures, they got into the mid to upper 80s in parts of West Michigan that afternoon. That brought us a lot of that potential energy, but we haven't seen a ton yet, even though we're dealing with strong wind shear as well, which is the winds changing direction and speed with height in the atmosphere. So basically winds rotating as they rise in the atmosphere. And a huge part of all this, and the reason we haven't seen any storms in West Michigan yet, is what's known as the cap. It's this block of warmer air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see here from the surface as a parcel and the moisture rises from the surface into the mid levels of the atmosphere. It almost hits like a wall, and that's what that warm air is. This limits how long or how strong that lift can be and how strong those storms can get, and those clouds can't develop as well. So as we heat throughout the day, normally our temperatures get warm enough to what's known as break that cap, but we've been dealing with that warm air all day.
Right. So whenever there's a break in that cap, that's what allows for the storms to actually increase with height. They can be broken and allowing for the storm's updraft and strength to increase. Whenever we see those tall cumulonimbus clouds, that's what really has usually an association with those stronger storms. And it also leads to the weaker air as well. And we're also going to see that potential for tonight, but most likely only a few storms.
Yeah, basically tracking just a few isolated severe storms. I'll have the hour by hour in just a few minutes and how long the rain lasts for your weekend.